This is a guitar with a story. I don't know the entire story, so you can make that part up if you want. About 15 years ago, maybe more, I found this guitar sitting behind a dumpster at 2 o'clock in the morning when I was leaving work. So I decided to put it into my car and bring it home. And that's what I did. And it sat in my closet for some 16 years until my son started playing guitar or wanting to learn to start playing guitar. And I pulled out several of my guitars, among them this one, and we fiddled with it a little bit, and it had its share of problems. Knobs missing, intonation off, several things about it not right. I believe it is a guitar that someone built themselves, either out of parts or a kit. I'm really not sure. So, fast forward a couple of years, my son has been playing guitar and soaking up all kinds of knowledge from YouTube, watching people doing setups, watching people build guitars, watching repairs, watching all kinds of stuff that I never knew anything about. And he decided that he wanted to take that guitar, strip it down, and build me a guitar using the parts left over from that guitar. Now, I'm going to let him tell you all the things that he did to it because it's more than I know and it's fairly extensive. So, this is my son who built this guitar, Nicholas, and I'm going to let him tell you some of the things that he did on this guitar. So, you saw the picture of it to start. He obviously refinished it. What did that entail?
So first, the finish was chipping off right where you saw the dragon picture there. It was really, really kind of rotting almost. So I started just chipping it with like a chisel, and that really was not working well beyond the dragon. I think there was some sticker. So I went with either 60 or 80 grit, really rough sandpaper over the whole body. That took a long time and a lot of elbow grease. It really was thick paint. And then I sanded it up to 320, I think, 320, and then started the long process of spraying it. So there's a total of 21 coats, I believe, of lacquer, nitrocellulose lacquer.
So 21 coats of nitrocellulose lacquer and then 3 coats of paint, right?
Um, 21 coats total. So
Total.
three of them in there are the black paint.
Okay. And that was all hand sprayed, right? You didn't have any kind of spray rig or anything like that.
Just rattle cans.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That took what? How many days?
I think 5 or 6 days of spraying because you can only do about 3 coats a day.
Yeah. And then it had to rest.
I had to wait 2 weeks before I could touch anything on it.
Okay. Okay. So that was quite a process. And then the rest of it, it's got pretty much all new parts on it. Tell me what's new, different
Uh,
from that old guitar.
so everything that's different from the old guitar is the pickups, everything to mount the pickups, including the height risers and stuff. All of the electronics, pots, knobs, added the switch, which I can talk about later. This is a new 5-way switch. The jack plate is the same, this metal, but the actual jack is new and it's really sturdy. Um, Nothing up here is different except for the nut is now bone instead of it was a really small plastic nut. And obviously the logo,
Yeah.
which is also sprayed to keep it safe.
And you hand carved that nut, right?
Yes, that is all with nut files and shaped to how I wanted it.
And the old one was plastic. What's that one?
This is bone, solid bone.
Okay.
I was confused.
It's all right. Bone. So yeah, he hand filed all that and acquired the tools from various places. Some of them Mike sent, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that was cool. Mike from Briar Blues sent some stuff that he wasn't using. And then talk about the electronics, the pickups, like what kind they are and that kind of thing.
So these are all three pickups from StewMac. StewMac is like a guitar builder supply store type place. They're basically replicating these, I think, 60s era pickups. They're kind of medium to hot output. They have Alnico 5 magnets, if that means anything to anybody. I think they sound pretty good. They're pretty, they make it sound like a Strat. The things before in there were super cheap, with ceramic magnets, and they were just really weak and anemic, so I think this is a good upgrade.
Yeah. And then you put that toggle switch in there. Tell what that does.
So on a normal Strat, you can choose either the 3 pickups by themselves or these 2 together and these 2 together, and that's all your options. This switch adds in the neck pickup no matter where the switch is set. So that gives you 2 more positions of these 2 together, which kind of sounds like a Telecaster, and all 3 pickups together, which is a really unique sound.
Yeah, that's cool. That's called, you've referred to it as the Gilmore mod.
A lot of people call it the Gilmore mod. It's kind of other people call it a 7-way switch mod.
And when you started doing this, you kind of patterned what you were doing off of Gilmore's Black Strat, right?
Definitely. I had the idea in my head. I was like, okay, I'm gonna make him the Gilmore Strat as close as I can with what I had. So
right. And then we found a website that had like 20 different versions of that guitar, pictures of it and stuff like that. So this is kind of a combination of some of those different things. And I mean, you made style choices on it that I think are pretty cool. The one unique thing is the color of the tone, volume and tone knobs versus the pickups. You almost never see them that are different colors. So if it has white pickups, it has white knobs typically. So this one is pretty unique in that respect, I think. And then I don't know if you can tell from the photograph that I first put up, I'll pop it back up here, of the bridge there. You can tell he's done a lot of setup stuff to it. It looks completely different. But he set this guitar up the way he thought I would like it set up initially, and then went back and tweaked it after I played it a couple of times. So it's had 2 setups on it. It's had new strings on it multiple times, I think,
yeah.
at this point. But how many guitars had you made before this?
0.
0. You hadn't done anything like this.
Yeah, I had kind of messed around with setting up my own guitars, but that's just turning screws, and a lot of people can get into that pretty easily. But the whole finishing and carving the nut and making sure everything, plays well as if it were a new guitar is a kind of a big step.
Yeah, and you put you had to do some wood filling. Do I remember that right?
Yeah, so I filled the biggest voids that were in it. It was kind of beat up, so there's wood filling, some super glue fillings in smaller spots. Yeah.
And then would you say the quality of the build of the original guitar was shaky at best?
Yeah, the routing underneath this pickguard is a massive void. You almost never see them look like that.
Yeah, like holes were mismatched.
Yeah, almost all of the pickguard screw holes were either stripped out or had different screws in there. So these are all new screws, of course.
Yeah. So all that to say, he did a lot of work on this, and I'm not going to show him on camera when I say this because he'll probably get embarrassed, but This is an unbelievable project that he undertook, and I'm beyond happy with the result. And I can't say how proud I am of him for having undertaken this and then actually doing it. So, thank you.
You're welcome. I just want you to play it. It's going.
Okay. So, I've just got this plugged straight into my amp. All the knobs are set straight up. There's no effects, no reverb, no nothing. It's just as plain as I can make it sound. And this is the neck pickup. Also realized I had been messing with these knobs earlier, so it's a little bit brighter. I had the tone turned down. Then you've got these two positions, pickups. It's a little more, what would you say, mellow?
That's the one that you hear a little differently to what I would say.
Brighter, right?
A little brighter, more nasal.
More what?
Nasally, kind of.
And then this pickup by itself. Back to this position, so this is probably going to be much brighter. And then the bridge pickup. And then if I put it back in this position and add this pickup, you got all three of them. That's got a really round, mellow sound to me. And then back to the back with this turned on, you've got these two pickups. I like the sound of this one. I play this way a lot. That's the way the different pickups sound, and that's with all the volume and tone controls turned all the way up. My bass, treble, and mid-range controls set at 12 o'clock, and my presence, I think, is set at 12 o'clock as well. But if I add a little reverb to it. So it is in the playability of this guitar. What's the neck radius of a typical Stratocaster?
Most Strats are either 7.25 or 9.5 inch radius on the fretboard.
And what about a Les Paul?
Les Pauls are 12-inch radius.
And what's this one?
That measures either 16 or 17-inch radius.
It's like flat. And that, I think it goes back to whoever originally built this guitar didn't really know what they knew enough how to build a guitar, but they didn't really know what they were doing or what they were working with. At least that's the impression I got. Anyway, that's what that guitar became after my son decided he wanted to do something with it. And I don't think I showed you the headstock on it, but he he pretty much did that with a Sharpie, right?
Yep.
And then there's also some stuff on the back of it. But after he started spraying it, it kind of ran and bled into the wood, which he wasn't expecting or whatever. But I don't care. Nobody on the planet has a guitar like this guitar. And that's pretty cool to me. So anyway, that's half of the story of this guitar. The other half, I have no idea what happened to it before I picked it up that night. Thanks for watching. Thank you.